The local community. With a combined experience of over 50 years as local real estate brokers from the East Side Real Estate Team at Keller Williams Realty Bellevue. Here's your hosts, Brian Levitt and Dan Edwards.
Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW. It is Wednesday, November, what is it, 20th? Right, yeah. 20th, 2019, and we're so glad you're listening today. We are also live streaming via YouTube, so check us out on 1150 KKNW on the YouTube. If you'd like to listen to past episodes, you can find us anywhere podcasts are podcasted, on Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts. Additionally, we have videos of every broadcast available for our show on the eastsiderealestateteam.com's website, and we would love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm excited for our show today. We've got some great guests. We have Kathy Lewis of Healing Tree, and also joining us for a second time is Michael Santiago with Nerds to Go. But before we get to our guests, it's time for some Real Talk. Now, our Real Talk segment, we've talked about the best places to live in Seattle. We've talked about the best places to live on the east side. And I know there's an allure out there for individuals to go and buy new construction. So today's topic today is... do I need representation when purchasing new construction? So let's talk about the expectations that buyers may have. One of the things that I think is interesting when buying new construction is a good buyer's broker is going to carefully listen and evaluate the expectations that all buyers need, because all buyers have different needs and expectations when buying homes.
I think often people don't realize you walk into the new construction site, the broker that's there works for the builder.
Right.
And so their loyalty, I mean, they're required by law to be honest, so there's not an issue of any deception, anything like that. But their loyalty is to their employer, which is the builder, and it's not you.
They have a duty to be honest and fair, but there is no level of confidentiality.
That's true.
Right?
Yep.
So they have to be fair. They have to function within the guidelines of...
I don't know that fair is part of it.
It's not part of it.
I don't think fair. I think honest. I think it's an integrity and ethics issue, but not fairness. They're working for that builder, and their job is to get the very best price terms that they can for that builder.
Well, I think, too, as you dig into any situation, Brian and I have talked in the past about being that real estate guru, that Sherpa, the individual that kind of comes alongside. And what that is it's about digging deep into your needs and wants. Right. Like when you think about the opportunity of what type of neighborhood, new construction, you're looking at vacant land. You have no idea what the configuration of that neighborhood will look like.
Right.
If it fits and matches what the buyer desires in the type of community they want to live in. So it's definitely something that I would say whenever you're looking at buying a very expensive asset, as they are here in the Northwest, having somebody who really stops to understand what it is you need, that's an important attribute.
Right. And, I think something, too, is often what you'll see is a base price on a home, and then the real money that the builders are making is on all of the extras.
All the upgrades.
And understanding, how do you utilize those? How do you be smart in your choices? So that's that really having a deep understanding of what the buyer's desires are and helping them translate that into the contract.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have you gone by and you see signs that say homes starting in the 700s?
Right.
Well, they're finishing in the 850s.
Yeah, that's right.
And, it's not necessarily bait and switch, but, I mean, if you want the base model, when you start to find out what somebody really wants, you're going to have a real estate professional that understands that going into it and can help guide you.
And the model home's going to have a ton of upgrades, which is great. You can see what the possibilities are, but you pay for that.
Yeah. So, what do you think about number 2 there?
I think it's the second thought we have is that the process is more complicated than a typical resale. We've touched on that just with the upgrades, but a lot of the builders use their own contracts, which, Dan and I work every day with the statewide forms. We've also worked with most of the builders, so we know what to expect from them. But there's times when we counsel our buyers on new construction to have a consultation with their lawyer to really understand. Key things that we're looking for is what the commitments are, what the outs are. If there is a financing contingency, an inspection contingency, we're looking for those things. But we're not lawyers, so they're much more complex transaction, and so that's where it really pays to have the real estate Sherpa, have the boots on the ground. An example is taking the time to walk through the model to make sure that the quality of construction is accurately represented. So we use that as a basis of comparison.
Yeah, so when you look at the complications from a contract, the average, when you're using a resale contract, the statewide forms, would you say the average contract's about 21 pages long-ish?
Typically now.
When
I started, it was 2.
Yeah,
I wrote a 46-page purchase and sale agreement yesterday.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
Wow.
And that wasn't even new construction. It's a rehab. So it's very parallel to a new construction. But I just was shaking my head. 46 pages.
46 pages.
Dang.
Well, in new construction, depending on who you work with, it can be anywhere from actually a 2-page offer sheet to a 43-page on up, where there's disclosures. And one of the challenges with that, when you see as many contracts as Brian and I have seen over the years, we kind of know what to look for. We're digging for the inspection contingency. We're looking for where the financing contingency is. And if you're going in there unrepresented as a buyer, they're going to represent to you that, yes, you can have an inspection, and yes, it's contingent. You've got, but you won't know the difference between whether this contingency is automatically waived or they're allowing you, because most new constructions, it's not subject to inspection.
No, it's not.
It's not. They will allow you an inspection, but it doesn't mean you get to walk away, which means you could lose thousands of dollars going into a transaction not knowing that your earnest money is not refundable.
Right. And something else is most of the builders ask their agents to prepare the purchase and sale agreement.
Yeah. A
lot of brokers are lazy and think that's a good thing. Well, I don't view it as a good thing, but it's typically a required thing. So they draft it, and that's that's the guy that's representing the seller drafting the agreement for the buyer. It's like, time out. I take a lot of time studying those, and that's when there's times when we do recommend a lawyer consult to make sure you know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah, and then the last thing Brian implied is when you compare new construction, each builder is different. Some builders, they include all the upgrades. Most builders, it's the base model and then the upgrades come. Not only that, the quality of construction. So what's the takeaway, Brian?
Takeaway is representation is really imperative. I mean, if you want to avoid surprises and get what you want, get the outcome that you desire, have somebody who's your advocate, who's on your side, who's got your back. So,
awesome.
Yep. So that concludes our Real Talk for today. If you're interested in this or other topics we've covered in our Real Talk segment, please check out our blog at theeastsiderealestateteam.com/blog. If you'd like to talk with us directly about your resale questions, we welcome your calls at 425-200-4093. Thanks for listening. Up next, we'll be speaking with a lender for our Mortgage Moment segment. Stay tuned for this commercial break to hear more about the market from Aram Matevosov. Did I get that right, Dan? Matevosov?
I think you did.
Matevosov,
yes.
Loan consultant with Movement Mortgage.
Not sure if now is the right time to sell? Worried you missed the market? The Eastside Real Estate Team specializes in helping homeowners maximize their equity when selling. With our proven premier listing service, our clients have sold their homes for more money in less time than the competition. We know you have many choices when working with a real estate agent, but with the Eastside Real Estate Team, you get a team of highly qualified, experienced agents. From staging to deciding if your property is market ready for top dollar. If you're considering selling, call the Eastside Real Estate Team at 425-200-4093. Or check out our website at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
So are you thinking about Thanksgiving and hosting your in-laws while staring at the crack in your dining room ceiling, the dirty, scuffed-up baseboards, and outdated accent color you painted 10 years ago? Armadillo Painting provides full-service painting services, allowing you to focus on what's important to you and not your home to-do list. Let them do the painting work. They take pride in taking the stress out of updating and maintaining your home with fresh paint. When working with their customers, they take the time to customize the estimate to the needs of each customer and only consider the project complete when they have confirmation from the customer is fully satisfied. Referrals are the foundation of what they do. To schedule an estimate with them, well, you can visit their website at armadillopainting.com and book online, or email them at office@armadillopainting.com. or even call their office at 425-641-5465. They look forward to speaking with you. Tired of the same old conversations at networking events that never lead to new clients? BNI is changing the way the world does business by connecting you to strategic relationships that can help you grow your business. BNI is the world's largest networking organization, helping hundreds of thousands of members around the world each year increase revenue through relationship marketing. For information about visiting a BNI chapter near you, go to the BNI Northwest website at bninw.com.
Alternative Talk 1150, here to uplift your day.
Welcome back to the show. You're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan. It's now time for our Mortgage Moment segment. Today, perhaps the biggest obstacles home buyers are facing is the big R word. Media uses this term recession wildly, and it scares people because the memory of the housing market crash of 2008. It's still fresh. Aram Matevosov, an experienced loan consultant with Movement Mortgage, is here with us talking about this in more detail. Welcome to the show, Aram.
Thank you very much. Hello, Dan. Hello, Brian. Thank you
Hello.
for having me.
Ram, how many economists are predicting that a recession may be coming?
Well, nearly every economist now says that the recession is coming, and there are lots of indicators for it. The question is, what kind of recession will this be, and how long could it last?
Yeah. Also, isn't it kind of normal for the ebb and flow for us to have recessions from time to time?
Every once in a while, yes. The economy is fairly cyclical, and there are lots of technical indicators why recession happens, but the most important one, probably the simplest to look at, is the relationship between unemployment and recession. Whenever we hit the lowest unemployment, usually recession follows within a year, within several months. And we are pretty much at that point, turning point right now.
So so higher unemployment numbers leads to recession, or recession leads to chicken or the egg, Aram?
Yeah, it's actually the other way around. It's the lowest unemployment. Whenever you have the lowest unemployment, usually recession leads to it. And the reason why it happens is companies, in order to meet the demand of the growing economy, hire rapidly. Once the hiring stops, then companies start settling and they start laying off people in order to save money, because labor cost is the most expensive in business, and that leads to recession.
All right. So now how does that affect interest rates, your domain?
Yes, interest rates historically are lower during the recession, and that's because of the 10-year bond yields are dropping as well, and there's a room for them to go lower next year. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball, and nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, but historically, interest rates for the past 50 years have been declining during recession.
Interesting. So I'm disappointed to learn that you don't have a crystal ball. But,
yeah, I'm sorry. I'll try to come up with one.
But what does your experience tell you about what we might expect in the next recession? Do you think it'll be anything like the 2008?
No, not at all. 2008 was simply happened because loans were made that they were not supposed to be made in the first place without income assets. We don't have those anymore. Mortgages are pretty secure. And that recession will not happen. I think the recession now, it will be just simply corrective and might last 2-3 quarters or so. And local economist Matthew Gardner also believes so. So I think it's going to be maybe less than a year.
All right. So then this leads to sometimes atrophy, right? You've got this recession. I every day, Brian and I talk to buyers. Should I buy or not? What say you, Aram?
I would say if you're set on buying, you want to own home, go ahead and do it, because a lot of buyers think that they will find the perfect place where the interest rate low and the home price is low.
Right.
And unicorns don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens with home prices, particularly single-family residences, hold up their value during recession. Condos and townhomes may decline, but still going to hold prices value steadily. According to Case-Shiller National House Price Index, home prices during recession have been going up, and so there's an upward trend. And if buyers will be waiting for lower interest rate just to save money, they will end up losing that difference at the expense of increasing home prices. So my advice, if you feel you need to own home, you want to own home, go for it.
Awesome.
Good advice.
So I think a lot of times people look at the opportunity with regards to homeownership, and they're not quite sure if it's the best thing. And the same thing in the stock market, like when should I buy, when should I not? And it really is about the quality of life, right? You're buying a home, and the decision is, to time it what fits for your life, your family, your lifestyle, and where you're heading. Aram, thank you so much for speaking with us today. It's been really informative.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you, Aram.
All right, next up, after the break, we may get some insight into unicorns. We'll be talking with Kathy Lewis of Healing Tree. Kathy will be talking about everything you wanted to know about gemstone therapy that you were afraid to ask. So come on right back after the break.
Did you know when you pay rent, you're actually paying someone else's mortgage? Are you tired of missing out on owning your own home? Fact: homeowners on average have 40 times the financial net worth of renters. The Eastside Real Estate Team has been helping many first-time home buyers find and buy their first home. They specialize in customer service and put you first. They listen first to what you're looking for, and then they take the time to make sure their clients understand every aspect of the home buying process. If owning a home has been your dream, the Eastside Real Estate Team can help you. For a free, no-hassle consultation, call 425-200-4093 or find them online at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Are you or someone you know considering relocating and downsizing in the process? Is the prospect of sorting through a lifetime's worth of belongings just too overwhelming to contemplate? Michelle Green with Caring Transitions has helped families just like yours get through the process with as little stress as possible. Caring Transitions has been helping people downsize and relocate all over the country for almost 10 years. Call Michelle Green with Caring Transitions of Issaquah and Bellevue to start learning more about the help that's available to you for downsizing and relocating at 425-505-0968. There's no cost or obligation to start getting more information on how to make your move easy on you. Just call them again at 425-505-0968. They look forward to speaking with you.
Are you stressed out just thinking about a new headshot? Well, Michael Nakamura Photography helps individuals and companies breeze past the pressure and anxiety with individual coaching and subconscious direction. No one leaves a session without their best headshot ever. Mike is a headshot specialist, creating hundreds of headshots a year for discerning customers. It's the home of the one chin headshot. Give Mike a call at 425-260-4033 or check out his booking page. Just type into any browser mnp.as.me.
Alternative Talk, 1150 on AM, 98.9 HD3 on HD, 1150kknw.com on the web.
Welcome back. You're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan. Our first guest today is Kathy Lewis of Healing Tree. Kathy is the owner and principal therapist of the Healing Tree, the Center for Energy Therapy and Bodywork. Welcome to the show, Kathy.
Yeah.
What was that?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
We didn't have the mic on.
Get it right in there.
We're all good. All right, so welcome to the show. Before we get into the stuff on gemstones today, tell us a bit about your hobbies and interests when you're not working.
When I'm always working. I'm pretty much a Northwesty girl. I like all the outdoor stuff, the hiking and the camping and all that good stuff.
This looks like it could be a good weekend for hiking, I heard.
Could be.
Did we hear a different news report?
Yeah, it said it's supposed to
think
be
the
nice.
rain is on its way back.
Oh, that's always good.
That's true.
That's what I
just
meant.
put on a rain slicker
Keeps
and
you
keep on
cool.
going.
Keeps you cool while you're hiking. Maybe we heard the wrong
Yeah,
report.
I thought it would be
Somebody
nice.
told me it was supposed to be nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I hope so.
Okay,
That'd be great.
get out and do some hiking.
So we like to ask each guest to share with us a fond memory of the home you grew up in. What do you got?
Well, we used to have a walk-in attic, and my mom marched us all down to the book depository, and she turned it into our in-home library.
Cool.
So that was really cool. I have very fond memories of afternoons spent reading books in the attic.
Books in the attic.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool. So where did you grow up?
That particular house was in Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
So it could be hot reading books in the attic in the summertime.
And humid.
Yeah.
Somehow that escapes my memory.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We forget.
That's awesome. All right. So let's jump into what it is you do for folks out there. You're the principal therapist of Healing Treatments, which offers several forms of body works and energy therapy. One specific energy therapy is called gem therapy. So what is gem therapy?
Gemstone therapy is exactly what it says. It is using various earth stones and gemstones to help people heal. Help people heal at the physical level, at emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Pretty much, it works within the human energy field, so anything's possible.
So what got you started down that journey of gem therapy?
Well, like many other major decisions in my life, it just kind of showed up. A good friend of mine says, I think we should take this class. I said, okay. And it pretty much blew me away how effective it is, how having been a therapist for many, many years and seeing so many issues that are so difficult to address, this just swept in, and I'd never seen anything so effective in my entire career.
So when was that?
So-
When did you take that class?
That was about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And I've been a therapist for over 22 years. So seeing something that just blew the competition away, you have to go with what works.
So tell me how that helps. A little more detail in why that blows you away.
Well, for myself, I've been a massage therapist, I've been a cranial sacral therapist, and I've seen people come in with physical issues, but clearly there were other components. There were emotional things going on. There were life issues. And we could get to a certain point in healing, would work for a little while, but then all the other issues would kind of take over and people would be back where they started. With this therapy, you can address all of those things and truly help people really heal, really move forward, really change their lives. And to me, that's what we're looking for.
So what kind of, now I said gem therapy, but you said gemstone. So is there a difference between the two?
Well, there are many different kinds.
Okay.
People hear gems and they think, big sparkly sapphires
Diamonds,
and
yeah,
rubies.
yeah.
But there is a very wide variety of stones that are used. Each one has different properties, different capabilities, different ways that it's appropriately used for healing.
So am I correct when I say that from your experience, you've done physical massage, cranial sacral, right? And then adding gemstone therapy in addition to those, or is it separate of those?
Well, I will very often combine cranial sacral therapy and the gemstone therapy. I specifically tailor it to what a person's needs are. Every session is different. Every client is different. And I tailor it to the best of my ability to serve them.
And then do you have an actual story of success that you can share with us on the radio today?
I have so many stories of success, but I'll tell you one of my own, since client confidentially,
Right.
other things. I hurt my wrist earlier this year. I took quite a spill out on Mount Rainier. Pretty much that's what ended my massage career. Was having terrible pain. Went to the orthopedic guy, wore a splint on it, did everything that would have been the usual course
Traditional
of
medicine
healing.
Yeah.
And basically, the doctor told me after a while, he says, pretty much, it is what it is. You're just going to have to learn to live with it. And that really wasn't working for me.
Yeah.
So using the gem therapy, the appropriate uses for that, my wrist is 100% today.
Oh, wow. So what other issues can gem therapy address?
All sorts of physical, emotional, mental. One that really stands out, especially here we are such a very high stress area, is there's a lot of burnout. And there's no traditional effective method for treating burnout. They don't really understand it at a physical level, but at an energetic level, there's a degradation and a breakdown of a lot of the body's energetic structures. That's why taking a vacation, getting, your weekend rest, good food, exercise, all those things that we think are going to bring us back, with burnout, we're seeing it's not working. And there is a very clear and direct path of treatment using the gemstones. And I've seen that work very, very well with numerous cases. So I'm very excited about that.
And I would say just about everybody experiences some level of burnout, where it's just like, man, I'm just going through the motions. I'm just not feeling it, right, quote unquote. And to use all methods available in order to rejuvenate somebody, I think that's a great opportunity. So what can someone expect during a typical session?
It is a very enjoyable experience. You come in, you lay down on my table. We put a blanket or a sheet over you, wearing comfortable clothing, and I apply the gems. They can be applied in many different ways. I have sprays, I have necklaces, I have single spheres, I have mandalas. I have all different ways of delivering the goods. You can come in for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours if you like, and we'll address your issues and get you feeling better.
All right. And then how frequent should that be?
Well, everybody is different. When somebody is having very acute or serious issues, I certainly recommend that they come in more often, possibly a couple times a week, depending upon the severity. And as somebody improves and gets better, then we space it out until you would reach a point where you would come in just for maintenance or not at all. There is a certain integration time. You don't want to come in too close together that your body hasn't fully integrated the work, but you don't want to space it out so far that you backslide, that the body backslides. So we find a sweet spot, get you in there just as much as needed.
So this might seem like kind of an obvious question, but how do you know it's working? I mean, your wrist is a good example. You knew it doesn't hurt anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of really interesting when there's physical pain involved. Well, physical pain and function, all of that comes back. With the life issues, with the emotional things, I find there's a beauty to the subtlety of it because it just kind of very gently and gracefully resolves itself. I had somebody come in yesterday who had been in for the same issue, three sessions, the same issue. And she came in yesterday. She said, I can't even remember what I came in for before.
Wow.
She said, and I remembered, but I wasn't going to tell her. I didn't need to remind her. But she had something new that she wanted to work on, and so we did that. But it's just a very graceful resolution very often.
I've always kind of thought, from a standpoint of our mental energies, right? And we were talking about burnout. And because our pace is so fast, because these phones, right, that have constant stuff just flying in your face, pushing notifications. I don't know how many notifications might be on this since we've been on the radio, right? That our brain is so powerful that we don't bring it to bear on the problems that we have to solve. So you combine that with the gemstone therapy. Whenever I've injured my leg or torn ligaments, I've always gone to bed picturing a crew kind of fixing and stitching it up, using that mental energy to kind of help heal. And I felt like it healed faster as a result because there is that presence of the two. So I'm a big, firm believer of using the power of what's going on to affect our wellness. And I think it's getting more and more difficult to find that space in our lives to remove. So if it means, paying Kathy to come and sit on our table so that we can be present and focus on it and then leverage the gemstones, I think that's really fantastic. So where can somebody learn more about this?
You can visit me at my website. It's healingtreepnw.com, or you can give me a call at 425-786-7482. And we can have a conversation and get you feeling better soon.
Awesome. All right. Well, Kathy, thank you for coming in today. We really appreciate the conversation. Do you have any special offers available to any of our listeners?
Well, if you mention this radio show, I will offer $10 off the first session.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Very generous. All right. After the break, we will have Michael Santiago with Nerds to Go talking about his holiday goose.
Yeah. All right.
Not sure if now is the right time to sell? Worried you missed the market? The Eastside Real Estate Team specializes in helping homeowners maximize their equity when selling. With our proven premier listing service, our clients have sold their homes for more money in less time than the competition. We know you have many choices when working with a real estate agent, but with the Eastside Real Estate Team, you get a team of highly qualified, experienced agents. From staging to deciding if your property is market ready for top dollar. If you're considering selling, call the Eastside Real Estate Team at 425-200-4093. Or check out our website at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Are you wearing too many hats in your small business? Finding yourself wondering where the time went? Do you ever get frustrated with technology that should just work? Then you need Nerds to Go, America's small business IT department. 425-800-NERD. At Nerds to Go, we provide friendly, professional, and reasonably priced solutions for small business owners. From network troubleshooting to hardware repair or training, let Nerds to Go be your IT department. Call Nerds to Go today. We'll come to you. 425-800-NERD. That's 425-800-NERD.
Are you wondering why that injury isn't healing, even after doing everything you were told would help? Are you having trouble moving on after the relationship is over? Are you constantly exhausted and feeling drained, even after taking time out to rest and recover? Your problem may have an energetic component that doesn't respond to the usual methods of healing. Healing Tree provides therapy that is able to directly address the energetic core of your pain and dysfunction. These gentle methods can help you heal at the physical, emotional, and mental levels. Contact Kathy Lewis of Healing Tree at 425-786-7482 or online at healingtreepnw.com. That's healingtreepnw.com. Isn't it time for you to start feeling better?
Alternative Talk 1150, the talk of the sound.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm Brian.
I'm Dan.
Our next guest is head nerd, Michael. Michael, welcome to the show. Michael is with Nerds to Go. Nerds to Go in Bellevue is an IT and computer repair company located on Northeast 8th in Bellevue. MacBooks, smartphones, iPads, and more. If it has to do with tech, the Nerds got you covered. Welcome back to the show, Michael.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Since you've been on the show before, please share with our listeners what your favorite Thanksgiving dish is.
Okay, so you guys are in for a treat. You don't know this, but I lived in New Orleans for quite some time, and I did give to New Orleans, but I received much more.
Uh-huh.
And one of those is an Emerald Lagasse recipe for a rub and an injection for fried turkey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Nice.
So for the past 12 years, I've been frying turkeys.
Nice.
And
So that's what you do at the Santiago's house?
correct.
Nice.
Safely.
Good.
That was my next question, if your insurance is current.
Okay. Yeah, so we try not to be a YouTube video every year.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
But you are videotaping, though, while you put it in.
Yeah,
Just in case.
Just in case, for insurance purposes.
Just a note, make sure it's thawed out all the way.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Have you seen those videos where they make it explode?
Oh,
they're basically putting a frozen
oh,
turkey in there.
One of my friends, his neighborhood, his cul-de-sac, we get together, and they'd all do their turkeys together. And one fateful year, one of the deep fryers got knocked over, which quickly ignited and took out the other 4.
Oh,
So 5, a 5 giant pot of grease fire.
Well, I moved away from the tall tub fryer because it was scary, and I've now moved on to a indoor butterball turkey fryer.
Oh, seriously?
Yes, which you should never use indoor unless you want your house to smell like McDonald's.
Oh, there you go. Funny.
Well, that may be something we want. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So next off-topic question, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, what are you most thankful for?
Yeah, so nobody made it to where they are by themselves. And,
That's right.
You know, I'm not at the top yet, but I can take a checkpoint and see where I am today. And I'm thankful for the individuals that have helped. When I was
The shoulders upon which you stand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
So today, Michael is joining us to share with us 5 things that business owners need to do to protect their goose or their fried turkey, as this case may be.
Right.
Okay, what is the first thing a business owner needs to do?
Okay, so we're going to walk through this, right? We're going to get progressively better. So we'll start with the easy ones. So number 1, you can't work with bad equipment.
Yep.
And so if you've got some slow machines, and I'm talking about laptops, desktops, things like that, first of all, hot plug. There's always free diagnosis at Nerds to Go when you bring your machines to us. So we can help you get a good look at it and understand why it's behaving slowly. But a pro tip, one of the biggest causes for slow machines are multiple antiviruses installed on your machine.
Oh, interesting.
Overprotection.
Overprotection.
Is that possible?
That is possible. So, like 2 cousins fighting over the last piece of turkey at Thanksgiving, they will fight each other to the death, taking down your machine as collateral. And so instead of just downloading that hot McAfee or Norton, consider you might have 2. And that may be just as easy as uninstalling and getting rid of that.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but most Microsoft Recent has their antivirus. Is that going to conflict with it?
It can.
So that could be a culprit, right?
Yeah.
So you can assess that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Very good. All right. So number 1, make sure you're not double protected.
Correct.
Okay. Number 2?
Number 2, password managers. And I'm going to get a little bit more security based, but at the very least, it's just so hard to remember everything.
Right.
Yep.
So you don't want to leave it up to the noggin.
Especially at Brian's age.
Yeah, give me a break.
I didn't want to say that, but I'm glad you went
You're
there.
a guest.
And
I can go there.
Yes,
yeah.
I appreciate that.
Well, here I'll cover 2 turkeys with 1 stone here. Today is my father's 94th birthday. Happy birthday, Dad!
Happy birthday.
But he has trouble with passwords.
Yeah.
And so this could be how should he manage his passwords?
Okay, if I'm being honest, everyone should have trouble with passwords because the requirements for which you should make them and how often you should change them are far beyond anyone's capacity to remember them.
Totally.
Sure.
So use the easy button, get a password manager. I use Dashlane. There's another one like LastPass.
Dashlane.
Dashlane.
I use Keeper.
Keeper's a great one.
Okay.
And if you're using one of those, you're likely staying one step ahead of those bad guys who just want your information.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about that is talked to a guy who does security for Amazon, right? He's in the security, programmers people. And he said that if you're using 2-factor authentication, right, so what I do with mine is the master password requires 2-factor authentication, which means you cannot get into my account unless you have, access to my cell phone. It's just redundancy.
Yes.
But that's my top end security. So he said I was like in the 3%. Like most executives, I'm way, way more secure than they are.
Yeah. Yeah. When you say 2-factor authentication, that's like pillow talk to me.
Oh, right. Can you explain what that is to the non-nerds out there? Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's exactly what you said. It is easy. Well, it's sometimes easy for someone to get a hold of your password eventually, but it would be much more difficult for them to have that as well as, say, physically holding onto your cell phone. And that's what would need to happen. In 2-factor authentication, they're using 2 pieces of your identity to ensure it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Number 3.
Okay, here we go. You're a hardworking business owner. You're looking for all the ways to cut costs and expenses. And one of the things you may not know is that right under your nose, if you have a Microsoft O365 or Microsoft license, you very well may also have other applications that you unnecessarily pay for. So, for example, you might have, some people have Slack, or they've got a Zoom conferencing software, or they have a calendar software called Calendly, which helps you figure out when you can book someone. These and others are all really redundant with Microsoft's offerings. And if you're paying for an O365 Office 365 subscription, it's very likely the Microsoft version of that is available to you at no extra cost.
So the web version of it.
Also the application. Depends on your license. So
Okay.
you may have the web and application version.
So what you're saying is to protect their business is to be less redundant, right? Don't pay for things you're not that you already have.
Yep.
Maybe sit down with the nerds and understand how to use them.
Correct. Dropbox being a huge one. Do you know how many times we walk into a Dropbox scenario and we say, do you enjoy paying that monthly because you have the exact same thing with OneDrive, which is already part of your subscription?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Okay. This gets real great. If
Thought it already was real great.
Yeah.
it's going to get better.
It's getting better.
It's getting better. If you look down at your Windows logo and it is circular and it says Windows 7, it's time to upgrade.
Right.
At the end of this year, Microsoft will no longer support Windows 7. Why that's important? You're going to lose security updates. Back to the bad guys.
Right.
First off, let's be specific. Windows 7 sucks.
Yeah.
First, just change it. It sucks.
Yeah,
It's horrible.
Yeah.
My
So-
wife's objecting to this, but we are right now having this conversation.
Yeah.
She has Windows 7?
She's on 7.
Oh, my
and it's like,
goodness.
sweetie, come on.
So guys like us, the nerds, we understand 7 may be your baby. And if that's the case and you love the way it looks and feels, there are ways to make Windows 10 look and feel just like 7.
Really.
And if you want us to do that at night when no one's looking and switch it
Yeah.
while they're asleep,
Little remote action there.
yeah, we can do that as well.
Nice.
That's an additional fee, I'm sure, but we can talk about that.
Okay.
These folks who are on 7 probably also have Blackberries in there.
I love my BlackBerry.
Oh,
Do
funny.
give it up. So with regards to Windows 7, there's a lot of security issues with it, and they're going to stop supporting it. So any future security exploits that get developed are going to get more. And Windows 10, what is that upgrade path? If somebody has a machine, do they have to upgrade their machine?
Yeah. So do they have to upgrade to
The
10?
machine.
The hardware.
The hardware, yeah.
No. So that's a depends. It's very likely that if you've got something that's about 5 years old, you may be okay. I'm going to speak very generally. Beyond that, it's worth a look. And I know a company that can help you take a look at that for free and give you some free advice as to whether you can make it there.
Who's that company?
Oh, man, I'm so glad you Nerds to go.
Oh,
All right.
you guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Us
right.
again.
Yes, of course.
We did that.
So number 5.
Okay. This is going to take a more serious tone.
Okay.
If you're a small business owner and you have insurance and you feel that that insurance is what's going to protect you in the case of some, say, data loss, or you've been attacked with ransomware, the sad fact is it's not going to bring your data back. So while you may have provisions to allow you to get back up and running with some cash or maybe some ways to replenish some of the hardware, getting that data is most critical. And you might find that just allowing that to be what it is the best course of action. And your only alternative is to go back to last night's copy. And when I say last night's copy, that's assuming that you have a backup and disaster recovery plan.
Local.
Or in the cloud or redundant.
Yeah, and what Michael's talking about for the listeners out there is there are these phishing campaigns where people send an email saying, hey, you need to change something on your account. And there are municipalities on the east side that have been locked out of very important files.
City of Sammamish.
Yeah, I wasn't going to name names, but
No,
since
that's
Brian
all of
announced
it
it.
is. That's all of it is.
Okay, I didn't want to libel. But anyways, and they had to pay. There was nothing they can do. They're not going to be able to recover that information. And so for a business, year end, you're getting ready to finalize your books. There's a lot of things. Maybe holiday is your biggest season, right? And the last thing, you can't access your point of sale system. You can't, fulfill orders. So the phishing happens, right? People click on something, they're moving, they're shaking. This is their important time. And to quite simply, every file that I have is backed up in my Google Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Any important file that if my computer, like literally as we're talking today, just fried in a fiery ball of turkey grease, I would be able to just pick up and reinstall all the applications and move forward. Yeah. There's nothing there that I couldn't, but the backup system.
Yeah.
I think I like the redundancy of having a local backup.
Yeah.
Because the cloud is the cloud.
Yeah. And so not only having a local, assume you had an actual local disaster as well, maybe a fire that took down the server that was in your home. That's a good reason why you would want redundant solutions.
In the cloud.
In the cloud.
Yeah.
I will say that it costs pennies to do this. So I wish folks knew and understood the dangers that they face so that they would more easily just move on to something that's going to ensure them at a greater level than, say, a policy.
Yeah, I mean, Michael knows the look on someone's face when he says, "I'm sorry,
it's gone."
We can't.
That's right.
We can't get those pictures of your kids.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, or in some terrible cases, we have no access to your customer data. It's gone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, happy days.
Yeah.
No, but I do want to, Michael and I have talked about the type of services that he offers businesses. Can you just kind of, we've got about a minute and a half, break down a small business, if they came to you and said, Michael, I don't want a nickel and dime. I just outline what I need to know so you guys take care of us.
Yeah, there's varying levels of how businesses want us to take care of them. Sometimes they just want the basics. Keep us alive, up and running. All the way through, we never want to think about IT.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about, we never want to think of IT, that's managing things like Office 365, their internal network, adding new users when they come on board, helping them with disaster recovery. We actually have our own solution where we can do a backup and disaster recovery. Yet to be named, I think we're going to call it Nerd Cloud because it has to have the word nerd, and after today, maybe even turkey. I've decided.
The turkey nerd cloud?
Yeah.
We'll work
still
on
in
that.
discussion. But ultimately, a small business owner, they can stay doing the job that they want to do and get out of the business of IT. Let us do that. And that's some of the offerings, and we do that at a pretty inexpensive cost.
Awesome.
We need to talk.
So Michael and Nerds to Go, for a promotion for coming on the show, is offering $50 off labor of any service when you use the service code Turkey Talk Nerds 50. I changed that.
That's
have
correct.
to mention
Turkey.
But that promotion is live. So if you need to get things kind of squared away before the family gets here, give him a call. How do they get a hold of you?
Okay, 2 ways. 425-366-8234, or you can go to Talk Nerdy to Me. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a different show.
Nerdstogo.com.
That's easy enough.
Yeah.
Michael, thanks for coming on the show today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Remember that this and other segments of our show are available to watch at our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Eastside Real Estate Team. If you're interested in learning more from these or future guests, join us after the break for some final thoughts and something fun to do this holiday. We'll be right back.
Did you know when you pay rent, you're actually paying someone else's mortgage? Are you tired of missing out on owning your own home? Fact. Homeowners on average have 40 times the financial net worth of renters. The Eastside Real Estate Team has been helping many first-time home buyers find and buy their first home. They specialize in customer service and put you first. They listen first to what you're looking for, and then they take the time to make sure their clients understand every aspect of the home buying process. If owning a home has been your dream, the Eastside Real Estate Team can help you. For a free, no-hassle consultation, call 425-200-4093 or find them online at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Are you wearing too many hats in your small business? Finding yourself wondering where the time went? Do you ever get frustrated with technology that should just work? Then you need Nerds to Go, America's small business IT department. 425-800-NERD. At Nerds to Go, we provide friendly, professional, and reasonably priced solutions for small business owners. From network troubleshooting to hardware repair or training, let Nerds to Go be your IT department. Call Nerds to Go today. We'll come to you. 425-800-NERD. That's 425-800-NERD.
Are you wondering why that injury isn't healing, even after doing everything you were told would help? Are you having trouble moving on after the relationship is over? Are you constantly exhausted and feeling drained, even after taking time out to rest and recover? Your problem may have an energetic component that doesn't respond to the usual methods of healing. Healing Tree provides therapy that is able to directly address the energetic core of your pain and dysfunction. These gentle methods can help you heal at the physical, emotional, and mental levels. Contact Kathy Lewis of Healing Tree at 425-786-7482 or online at healingtreepnw.com. That's healingtreepnw.com. Isn't it time for you to start feeling better?
Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to Real Talk on 1150 AM KKNW. I sometimes lead that off. Let's get right into our final thoughts for the day. Brian, what do you got for us?
You know, when we talked about new construction earlier, something we didn't really touch on much was the importance of a home inspection. I think there's an assumption that since it's brand new, everything's fine. I had a meeting with an inspector this morning who's been a home inspector for 16 years, and he says he has never seen as much improper stuff in new construction as they see in right now. I think a lot of it is builders are busy, and I think there's some corners being cut. And so if you're working with the site representative, they're going to try to shut you down on an inspection. Dan and I, as your advocate, will get that home inspection.
Yeah, we've got great home inspectors that have been inspecting for years and years and years, and they're going to go in there and they're going to do that from the crawl space to the gable inspection. And we've found stuff like insulation missing.
Construction debris dumped in the crawl space.
Yep. Electrical outlets that just don't work at all.
Yeah.
They're just building. So just to give perspective, we talked about this when Pat Stone came on, is new construction is still lagging before pre-Great Recession
2008
paces.
Yep.
So they're still not building at the same pace. And with such a tight labor market, they're getting anybody that can hold a hammer to go out there and do stuff. And that's how corners get cut. So you really, I appreciate you bringing that back up. That's why we have these final thoughts, Brian.
Yep, that's right.
All right.
So what's happening, Dan?
What is happening? Well, this is an annual event in downtown Bellevue that is a must-do if you like Christmas and if you like the holidays, if you like celebrating the new year, because it goes from, who doesn't like the holidays? The Grinch.
The Grinch. Yeah,
the Grinch doesn't like the holidays. Snowflake Lane, just around the corner, featuring a nightly parade with a cast of 300 performers, including toy drummers, jingle bell dancers, stilt walkers, snow flurries. It literally snows in downtown Bellevue every night. 16 lighted floats. So if you like a party and a parade, you can get one every night. It starts November 29th and goes until the 24th. After Christmas, it switches to Celebration Lane. So it's more of like, to celebrate good times, come on. Okay, that was pretty good for radio. All right.
And it's complimentary.
Free music, yes. The parade.
Yeah.
The singing, I thought
Oh,
that
sing,
was
go for
free.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was no. I'm done. So it's if you head down to Bellevue Square, you got a nightly parade, Brian.
Sounds good. So that concludes our show for this week. I want to especially thank our guests, Kathy and Michael, for taking the time to speak with us. It was a great show. Thank you all for listening. And before we go, I have a quote I'd like to share that comes from my very first year in the business, where I cornered a real estate guru, Basil Vesey. Basil was an investor and somebody I really looked up to for his skill. And I said, "What's your secret?" And he actually told me. He says, "You don't make money when you sell real estate. You make money when you buy real estate." So, again, importance of having somebody on your side that helps you make that good buying decision.
And like you know, it's always a good time to buy.
It's always a good time to buy.
Thanks for
That's
listening.
it for the week.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host,